It's tournament time at the University of Tampa. The 2026 NCAA South Region number 2 comes to town as the Spartans are looking to make it 3 national titles in a row. Coach Sane and Urso have concluded their meeting with the umpires, and just like that, we are ready to go. I'm Taylor Storthy. Alongside Xander Lopez, you are watching live from the SSC Digital Network, broadcasted via the NCAA for D2 Baseball. It should be a great day for baseball. Beautiful weather, but even better competition. The number 2 team in the region, Tampa, hosting Rollins, West Alabama, and Trevecca, Nazarene. It's the Trojans of Trevecca, Nazarene coming to town, and they'll be starting at the plate. But starting on the mound will be Robert Satin. Satin with a fantastic season for the Spartans, a 1.98 ERA, a 10-2 record. He was Mr. Friday Night. He gets us started on Thursday afternoon. And Xander, who are you most excited to see from the Spartans today?
I am most excited to see Robert Satin. He closed out the year pretty well, and I'm excited to see what he can do in playoffs now that we're here.
It's always the most exciting time of the year. The regional brackets can be somewhat complicated. You have to win 3 times to advance. If you get sent down to the losers bracket, that number becomes 4. It is a double elimination bracket, so if you lose, you are not done just yet. But if you lose twice, your season comes to a close. The winner of this game will advance to the regional semifinal with a chance to clinch a potential Game 6 region win on Saturday. The loser, however, will play the early game on Friday against the other loser of the 5 p.m. game, which will be against West Alabama and Rollins. Let's give you the Trevecca Nazarene starting lineup as we're about ready to go. For the Trojans, it'll be Rylan Moses leading off, followed by Cade Martin. Batting third is Noah Broughton. Batting fourth, Drew Badley. Batting 5th, Cade Moore. Batting 6th, Cade Webster. Batting 7th, Landon Rogers. Batting 8th, Jackson Christ. Batting 9th, Alex Fernandez. First pitch here at 1 p.m. from Satin to Moses. Low, ball 1. Moses hitting .333 on the season as we get underway. Up the middle, but right to Satin. Second pitch, first out of the game, 1 down. I had a chance to coach up with Coach Sane before the game, and he highlighted 2 of the players he's hoping to see do well in the regionals. It started, of course, the freshman Rylan Moses, but also this guy right here, Cade Martin, one of the top performers on offense. He's expecting him to break out of the playoff cold stretch he had in the conference tournament. Martin batting .414 on the year, the team leader with 15 homers. He's one of the top players in terms of home run power in all of D2, let alone the South region, and 43 RBIs.
This Trojan lineup is filled with above-average hitters as there are 5 players over 300 on this lineup, with 5 of them all coming back to back to back. So it's a tough out to get out for Satin, these first couple batters.
Satin will need a hot start to the game against the top of the Trojans lineup, but he is up quickly 0-2 to Cade Martin. Ripped to short. Ponce's there. 2 down. Quick stops on defense for the Spartans to bring up Noah Broughton. And Xander, you are absolutely correct. The team average for Trevecca entering today, 300 on the season at the plate. So having 5 players over 300 over the team average. But the rest of the lineup isn't anything to sneeze at either. Caleb Webster batting 6th, hitting just under at .294, but has the second most homers of the starters with 10. He's got a long way to go, though. It's Noah Broughton with 2 down, the lefty-on-lefty matchup for Satin. Fouled, strike 1. Tampa are 24-3 at their home park this season. Trevecca Nazarene only 13-10 on road trips. They are 2-3 on neutral sites. So keep an eye on for those numbers as tournament play continues. And it's quickly 0-2 to Broughton. Satin struck out 99 over the regular season. He opened his year with 8 straight strikeouts in his first start of 2026.
Spartans coming out with the major shift here.
Foul back, and Boughton stays alive. You see this sometimes out of a Coach Joe Urso team. When you get to 2 strikes against a lefty, since you know it's very unlikely that they'll bunt it down the line, they'll play an aggressive shift. Unlike in MLB, there is no shift restrictions here at the college game. 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the first. Almost got him outside. Santon was ready for strike 3.
Santon has looked good early as he's gotten ahead of every batter he's first so far. I know it's only 3 batters, but if he can keep this up, he's going to have a very good day of work on the mound today.
That one a bit low, and the count will go 2-2 to Boughton. In terms of getting on base, Trevecca and Nazarene have a .399 OBP as a team. It clears what their pitchers concede by 44 points, 227 walks to 375 strikeouts. They've also been plunked 76 times. That one a little low again. Full count for Boughton. The catcher, Drew Bradley, on deck. Payoff pitch to Boughton. Up the middle, takes a high hop. Throw from Martinez is in time, though, to end the inning. What a play from the third baseman playing on the right side of the infield. That's a great stop for the Spartans as they go 1, 2, 3 through the start of the Trojans' order. And Tampa's electric offense will step to the plate against the ace of the Trojan staff. We'll be back with more action from NCAA tournament play. Catch made in center field. It's a sac fly for the Spartans. They'll take the 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first. Welcome back to the SSC Digital Network. We do apologize as we do have a bit of connection problems with our camera. Not a great time for them to occur. But you missed a leadoff triple by Jordan Evans. The wind carrying the ball away from Moses in center. And he eventually comes home on the second pitch of the Woodburn at-bat to give Tampa the early advantage. Joander Irigoyen goes down 0-1. Welcome back to coverage of the NCAA 2026 South Region. The home Tampa fans absolutely loving it as the count goes 0-2. For the season, Logan Harrell 8-4 with a 3.17 ERA. He has struck out 92 in 88 innings. He is the top pitcher of the Trojan staff. Went the complete game distance to start the Gulf South Conference tournament last week. Down in the dirt, 1-2 now to Irigoyen.
Harrell, the starting pitcher, isn't no slouch either. He has 92 strikeouts with just 19 walks. So he doesn't really get himself into too much trouble, and when he does, it seems like he can punch him out.
That one missing low. It'll be 2-2, taking a weird bounce away from Bradley. Tampa was able to jump on Harrell early, though. A catalyst. Big triple out of Evans, as that is going to be a tipped third strike. Irigoyen stays alive. A pretty excited Tampa crowd here to begin regional play. Tampa fans traveling well for the playoffs. They always do across all sports. And now 2-2 on the way from Harrell. Ripped to short, takes a weird hop. Too hot to handle, and Irigoyen's on board. That one will, I think, be scored as a hit. We'll have to see if they give the error to Rogers. And they are going to give the error to Rogers. So it won't improve the 380-14 team leading average for Irigoyen, but gives Tampa another base runner. That'll bring up Jake Books. Pre-game, I saw Books as one of the first people to reach the dugout for the Spartans. You can tell he is locked into tournament play. Now, obviously, Xander, this Tampa team has championship pedigree. They've won the last 2 national titles. 10th all-time was the last one that the Spartans won. It's the most in D2. But notably for you, Tampa, as the count goes 2-0, they've got Jake Books, a new player who also has championship pedigree. He was with the Chancleteers of Coastal Carolina last year as part of the D1 National Championship winning side. So even though it wasn't in Cary, it wasn't with the Spartans, Books has that championship DNA as he gets 3-0 up to Harrell, who is off to a slightly shaky start. Partly not his fault. It was a weird hit to center that just pulled Moses out of position, and it is going to be 3-1 to Books.
Well, we're talking about the Trojans lineup and how good their hitters were, but the Spartans are doing just as well, as they have 4 hitters over 300, with Books being a part of it. Books has 43 RBIs on the year.
Books to center. That one's carrying deep for Moses. It is caught at the warning track. Second ball to fall at the track. 2 down.
Which is 3rd on the team for Books. So this is a very good Tampa lineup. It's going to be a very fun game.
Definitely feels like Tampa is due for a home run with some of these fly balls. The first one from Evans carrying all the way to the wall in right center. It took a weird turn due to the wind, pulling Moses out of position. Meanwhile, we then had Woodburn with a deep fly ball that just got caught right at the wall for a sac fly. And this one, that just falls a little shallow as well. 0-1 to Carlson. Two outs, an 0-1 count with a runner on first. Bottom of the first. That one's going to miss. 1-1. Carlson also a very solid season. Tampa's main strength, however, as the count goes 1-2, big whiff, is getting on base, even more so than elite hitting. They get on base at a .429 clip on the year. They've struck out 293 times to 332 walks. Scratch that, reverse it. 293 walks to 332 strikeouts. Swing and a miss. Harrell picks up his first strikeout to retire the side. But the damage was already done. The leadoff triple by Jordan Evans and sac fly that followed put the Spartans in front as we kick off regional play from the University of Tampa campus. Welcome back to the University of Tampa campus as regional play continues from Game 1 of the 2026 South Region. Taylor Sorley and Xander Lopez here on the call. And Xander, we were talking about the previous inning. It's a bit windy today, and there was one ball in particular, the one that sadly viewers weren't able to see from Jordan Evans, that had a crazy bit of carry that was too tough to track for Moses out in center.
Yeah, the wind's blowing 9 miles an hour, a little bit southeast. So once that ball gets up in the air, it's going to travel a little bit to the right, which just took it over the center fielder's head. And he tried to make a play on it. And, again, that ball was affected by the wind, and it just fell into a nice gap out there in center.
That's going to be good for the Spartans to take advantage of. It was the lone hit they had in the first inning as the count goes 1-0. You would wish that you could maybe get a hit with that runner at third, but Woodburn did the job with the sac fly. And the count will go 1-1 to Bradley. Tampa's defense looks relatively normal. A couple changes, though. Braden Woodburn's playing in left, Jordan Evans in center, and Jake Books out in right field. This one's going to get flared to Evans. One down. Out in the infield, it's Jack Martinez playing third. Jesse Ponce playing short. Luke Fiker playing second. And Walker Vanacek at first. As always, Joander Irigoyen forms the battery with Bobby Satin. Here's Cade Moore. The notable difference is Fiker at second. Tampa's done some experimenting with Woodburn out in left field in recent games due to the absence of Javi Soto. Strike one.
Cade Moore is the last of the Trojan hitters that's batting over 300. But, again, there's a 294 in there. And he has 46 hits on 35 RBIs, with 5 of them going out of the park.
Swing and a miss 0-2. Satin is going to quickly get ahead of Moore. Needed just 12 pitches in the first inning to get through the side. Outside, 1-2. A big thing that Coach Urso said that Satin will need to do today is have great command against both lefties and righties. Down the stretch, Satin has been a little less flawless than we're accustomed to seeing, but still one of the best pitchers in the region, in the nation. Hit to Ponce. He'll take it on the hop. 2 down. And it definitely feels like Satin's command is stronger today, even though he is yet to pick up a strikeout. This one would be his 100th of the season. That'll bring up Caleb Webster. Now, Xander, I did say keep an eye out for Webster. He's only batting 294 compared to the team average of 300. By the way, 294 is still a really good average. But also, second most homers on the team with 10.
In 2 hits away from 60. So he's had a really good year, as we'll say his numbers. 294, as you heard, 10 home runs, 38 of them RBIs with 48 runs. And what I have highlighted with Webster is 10 stolen bases. So a pretty speedy guy if he gets on base.
So a 10-10 season so far out of Webster. Swing and a miss, chasing the outside heater. One from Satin. Right down Main Street, 1-2. Just on the outer corner, 2-2. Didn't get the swing that he used with that pitch earlier. Satin, 99 strikeouts to 11 walks, and even 9-1 strikeout to walk ratio.
It's very good.
Fouled. Webster stays alive.
I think this would be a good time for his 100th strikeout on the.
Certainly would. High and in, 3-2. On deck is Landon Rogers. The last thing you want if you're the Trojans conceding a run is to have another 1-2-3 inning on the offensive end and not gain any momentum. You need it against Satin. Payoff pitch. Inside, strike 3. Webster played it safe and will go down looking to end inning number 2. 3 up, 3 down for Satin. Picks up number 100 for his strikeouts in 2026. More regional action when we return. So here we go with the bottom of the second. It'll be Walker Vanacek leading off for the Spartans, who lead 1-0 in the first game of regional play. We've got 6, potentially 7 games over these next 3 to 4 days. And Vanacek will foul this one away for strike 1. This first game is going to be important for both teams. This is the second region, and it is going to have pretty tough foes across the board. The Spartans, of course, top 3 team in the nation all season long, as that's going to go 0-2. Rollins, one of the top teams out of the SSC, one of 2 Sunshine State Conference teams to have made the tournament. Eckerd fell just short of an at-large bid, ironically getting knocked out by Trevecca Nazarene in the final rankings. West Alabama, one of the top teams out of the Gulf South, that isn't West Florida, is also in tournament play as the count goes 1-2. Ironically, West Alabama got a tournament loss against Trevecca Nazarene in Gulf South Conference Championship play last weekend. And last midweek, actually. Vanacek fouled off of himself right to the pitcher. He'll stay 1-2 as he goes down. One thing, Xander, great resilience out of Harrell in the first inning after that leadoff triple and then the error from short. He rallied 2 straight outs to get out of the jam. Coach Sane mentioned that he was a gamer. He's a guy that loves those big game moments. He loves to keep battling through adversity, and you could see it after that shaky start conceding the lead, immediately firing back.
Well, on his first 3 batters, he was behind 1-0, and then the last 2 batters of that inning, where he got the fly out F8, and the strikeout, he went up 1-0. So that was the difference there. Is when he can get ahead, again, that's where the 92 strikeouts come into play. So again, but on the opposite side, he only has 19 walks. So there is a say where he can get out of it, even if he gets himself into that sticky situation, which we saw. But I'm thinking he's going to be more in the zone with these upcoming batters.
Vanacek is good to go. He did get checked out with the trainer and Coach Urso for a moment. Here's the 1-2 out of Harrell. Fouled again. A lot of balls hit Urso's way during this at-bat. Coach Urso, of course, perennially at that third base line. Jimenez on the other side of the infield at the first base line. It was kind of funny on the play. Sadly, we couldn't see due to the stream difficulties and disconnection as the count goes 2-2. Evans was ready to go for an inside the park home run, and I think Evans would have been safe, but Ursa was desperately trying to get him the hold up at third. In fact, almost getting onto the base path to slow him down. Worked out well for the Spartans. Evans would come home on the sac fly. Still battling. Harrell had 18 pitches in the first inning, already 6+ in this at-bat against Vanacek. Big thing for the Trojans. They want quick innings out of Harrell. Tampa will do their best to prevent that from happening. Staying alive. I had the chance to check in with Coach Sane, and, he was talking about that conference tournament start for Harrell, saying that he was breezing through opponents in his complete game effort to start conference tournament play. And he was surprised. He saw the pitch count down to the 40s by the time he was entering the 6th inning.
Wow.
But against Tampa, I've got a hunch that will not be the case. Brilliant battle from Vanacek and Harrell. He's trying to find strike 3.
Vanacek is protecting the plate very well. He's looking to see if he can find a fastball somewhere in the zone that he can either pull to the opposite side or just take it with him.
Outer corner, ball 3. I like the idea going low and away with a fastball. Vanacek has seen quite a few breaking balls in this at-bat. Payoff pitch. Fouled again. Looking back at that start, Harrell going up against Montevallo. He had 88 pitches in 9 innings. All the runs he surrendered, 3 in the game, were unearned. Struck out 9, giving up just 3 hits. One of them a home run from McGuire Turner. Ball 4 low to Vanacek.
That's a great eye there. Working the count from an 0-2 to get your walk. It's another free base for the Spartans here, trying to start a little rally here in the second.
An 11 pitch at bat puts Vanacek on first. Those are the ones that are going to sting more than anything else. Ponce ready to go now. Ponce hitting .296 on the season. He was hot to start the season. He's now hot to end the season, laying the bunt down. He's going to beat the throw. No! They call him out at first. And listen, there are a lot of close calls across the year. But I think purely that was the incorrect call. It looked like Ponce had gotten that foot down safely.
It did. But again, like you like to say, you can't fight City Hall.
You certainly can't. Speaking of City Hall, here are our 4 umpire team for today. Behind home plate, it's Dustin Ragsdale. At first base, it's Ray Parrish. Second base, Paul Taylor. Third base, Marcial Santos. Big shout out to the umps for helping make regional baseball play possible. A lot of the umps, notably Ray Parrish, also frequently at the U Tampa campus for baseball and softball throughout the season. Want to know. So even though Ponce is out on a very tough call at first, he does have a productive AB. It's a sacrifice bunt to send Vanacek into scoring position. And honestly, that was a perfectly placed bunt, something that Tampa hasn't been perfect with all year. Coach Urso mentioned one of the big differences between this year's team and the last 2 title-winning sides, consistency and the ability to hit in high-leverage spots. That's something that Tampa hasn't been perfect at. They've lost games due to the inability to convert with bases loaded or in spots like this. 2-1 now to Martinez. But that bunt from Ponce, even though he was called out on a very close play, that was good execution. So Harrell in a pinch, 1 out, 1 in scoring position. That's to short, and picked up on the hop. He'll go to third, and they get the tag. Risky fielder's choice, but Rogers Tamor gets out number 2.
That's a great play by the shortstop there. To have not only the awareness to get up and make that throw to third, but to do it in time to get that leading base runner out at third.
It looked like it was going to be a bit awkward for Moore to turn and make the tag, but he does so cleanly. So now Tampa will have a runner back at first with 2 outs. That's the out you'd like there if you're Harrell. Most of the time on that play, you're going to get the throw to first. Squared up, Fiker takes ball 1. The two-way man, Luke Fiker, one of the top players out of the bullpen this season for the Spartans, is ready to go. At the plate, he's no slouch either, batting .259. He'll take one into left field. That would have scored the runner from second, and that'll bring Martinez to third. Runners at the corners with 2 outs. A bit of gamesmanship there, squaring up for a bunt and then swinging away. Cleared Rogers with the line drive. By the way, Trevecca Nazarene's defense has Boughton in left, Moses in center, Fernandez in right, Moore at third, Rogers at short, Webster at second, Christ at first. Bradley forms the battery with Harrell. Strike 1. And we're back to the top of the order. Evans took the first pitch of the game to center, where it dropped for a triple. This time, he'll see strike 1. Ripped to third and caught by Moore. That was right to him, but still an important catch. Saves a run from scoring to end the inning. Tampa strand 2 with 1 hit. They are getting some pressure against Harrell, but he cleanly escapes the jam. Still 1-0 Spartans, 2 innings complete. Top of the third, about to begin. We're back here at the University of Tampa campus. You are watching from the SSE Digital Network, NCAA Tournament Baseball. This is the first of 2 games in regional play today. Up next, we've got another Sunshine State Conference foe, the Rollins Tars, taking on West Alabama. That game scheduled to start at 5, and as of now, things look to be on schedule. Those are famous last words. Ball 1. Hit to right and foul. Trevecca Nazarene enters with a 32-21 record. They made it to the semifinals of the Gulf South Conference tournament, but ultimately got sent to the losers bracket in that semifinal matchup and couldn't make it back for the championship game. Fouled away 1-2. There's no conference tournament in the SSC. Tampa won the regular season title, going 27-3 in conference play. It's the Spartans' 6th straight conference championship. Got the low corner, strike 3 called. Second strikeout of the day for Robert Satin. 1 down. That'll bring up Jackson Christ. He's hitting .282 on the year, 3 homers and 22 RBIs. I will refrain from making a rising on the third day joke until Trevecca Nazarene plays on Saturday. Ball one. Christ is hitting .282 on the season. 22 RBIs on the year. Another lefty in the lineup to take on Satin. Coach Sane not worried too much about the platoons. As the count goes 1-1, Sane playing his best 9. Clips the corner, strike 2. There's only been 2 batters today where Satin has gotten behind them deeper in the AB. It was the full count to Boughton, full count to Webster. Got him looking, strike 3. The exact same pitch to the inside corner. Two down for Alex Fernandez. These two teams are not strangers to each other. The Spartans and Trevecca Nazarene Trojans do occasionally face off in regular season play down here in the South. Or at the very least, will do so in the future. I was surprised because I've seen Trevecca Nazarene take on Tampa in different sports. This is actually only the second ever time these two teams have faced. That last one was back in 2021 in Cary, North Carolina in the national championships. As the count goes 2-0. Tampa won that one in a nail-biter, 7-6. Braden Nelson had almost 5 innings out of the bullpen, and Jordan Leisure struck out 8 to close the door. 2-1. I was catching up with Coach Sane about that game as well when I saw him pregame. He even mentioned and remembered Jordan Leisure's dominant outing out of the bullpen to give Tampa that win to start what would be a trip deeper in the tournament. 2-2. Of course, Leisure, one of the few Spartans now currently active in the MLB. We'll talk more about those Spartan players later. For now, Satin trying to end the inning. 2-2 to Alex Fernandez. Strike 3 low and just on the corner. 3 up, 3 down, all on strikeouts. Satin up to 4 in the game, keeping Tampa on top through 2. We're about to start the bottom of the third. Things are heating up, actually literally, at the University of Tampa. It was 86 degrees at the first pitch, and then bumped up to 88. We're now at a nice and warm 87-degree temperature. Taylor Storley, Xander Lopez bringing you the action from the NCAA South region for the 2026 Baseball National Championships. Normally all roads lead through Tampa, but it's West Florida who is the number 1 overall in the South. If they make it out of their super region, or out of their region, they host super regional play. Ball 1 down low to Braden Woodburn. It'll be Woodburn, Irigoyen, and Books 2 up. Quick run through the Spartan order. We didn't have time to introduce them in the first. Evans leading off, Woodburn second, Irigoyen third, Books fourth, Carlson fifth, Vanacek sixth, Ponce seventh, Martinez eighth, Fiker ninth. Extra base hit for Woodburn into the gap. He'll settle with a standing leadoff double. Second extra base hit today for Tampa. Woodburn stays hot at the plate. Once again, Harrell in a pinch. Tampa did convert with a runner in scoring position immediately on a sac fly in the first. Were unable to do so in the second. Not only were they unable to get Vanacek to third on what was a fielder's choice, with runners at the corners and 2 outs, Harrell got a line out of Jordan Evans.
Uruguay reached on an error back in the first, E4 to be exact.
That was a hard hit ball to Landon Rogers, a little too hot to handle. And that one's up the middle to get by the second baseman and shortstop. No! What a grab by the second baseman. 1 down. Not only that, he actually saves the run on the play. Woodburn to third, Irigoyen out. Productive out for Irigoyen. If Webster didn't make the sliding grab, it would be 2-0 Tampa. That'll bring up Jake Books now. Lefty and righty matchup with 1 down. Third baseman playing shallow. Books is not the type of player you'd expect to drop a squeeze bunt here, but just in case they're thinking of it, they are getting ready a bit more shallow defensively. The middle infielders, however, playing a bit deeper. So not a fully played in infield. 1-1. Sane mentioned that Harrell can throw effectively with 2 different offerings when he's in the zone, and so far he's doing a pretty good job of that today. Tampa have had 3 hits, but they've also had a ton of hard outs. Harrell's been able to get those outs, and even some whiffs like that one. Notably struck out Carlson, who's on deck.
Bucks flew out to center last time. Hoping he can do that again because that'll bring in one more and 2-0 Spartans.
A ball in play extends Tampa's lead. And that'll get through for a base hit. RBI single out of Jake Books. Number 44 on the year for Books. Now tied with Evans for the second most out of the Tampa starting 9. Here comes Gunnar Carlson. 1 on, 1 down. Even without the shift, that's probably getting through for an RBI. Strike 1. The defense playing a little more straight up now. Double play opportunity on the board should they coax a ground out from Carlson. There were 13 ground outs in Harrell's complete game effort against Montevallo in the Gulf South Conference Tournament. Bottom of the third, 2-0 Spartans. Game 1 of regional play. Swing and a miss, 1-2. One, 2 count from Harrell. Got him chasing the heater. Strike 3. Second strikeout of the day for Harrell. Second time he's retired Carlson on strikes. That'll bring up Walker Vanacek with 2 down.
Vanacek had a very good at-bat back in the second where he drew a walk on 10 pitches, I believe it was.
11 pitch at bat for the walk. He didn't swing and miss at anything. He'll take strike one. It was a brilliant battle for Vanacek, and definitely not an opponent here we'll be looking forward to with 2 down here. Especially if he gets flashbacks of how that previous AB went. He was fouling off everything. And he'll rip one to left field. Over the head of Moore. Brooks holds up at second. Ponce now with 2 outs. He had a very nice bunt last time that almost gave him a base hit. And now he'll get a chance to swing away. Ponce up to 296 on the average on the season. He started the season hot. He cooled off a ton in the middle of the year, but he's heating up down the stretch. 1-0. Ponce, coming out of Northern Oklahoma Enid as a JUCO transfer, one of many that have flourished this season for the Spartans. Hit to second. He's got it. Inning over. Tampa once again unable to capitalize with a runner in scoring position. They leave 2 on the base path. But beforehand, they do put 3 hits on the board, scoring their second run of the game. It is now 2-0 Tampa through 3 innings complete at the Birdcage for regional play. Warm-up complete for Robert Satin. We're about ready to go here in the top of the 4th. Spartans and Trojans kicking off regional play. Leading off for the Trojans this time will be Rylan Moses. Moses got some love from his coach. He's been hot down the stretch. When I was able to check in with Sane, he mentioned that Moses is a freshman, but he's not playing like one. He's hitting very well, productive with power, speed, pop. He's everything you want out of a leadoff guy. Strike one in the outside corner. He'll have to go up against a red-hot Robert Satin. He has struck out his last 4 batters faced. And notably, he froze them all. Strikeout streak ends. It's the first base runner for the Trojans. Clean hit up the middle for Moses. 1 on. So Xander, I know you're back here in the booth. You're able to quickly check on what the velocity has been for Satin so far.
He's been at 90 and 92 on the gun. So very good game so far from him. That's the first hit he's given up, and he's had 5 for 10 on the first pitch strikes. Only 1 count has gone to 2-0 on the day so far for him.
And that count ended in a strikeout for Satin. This one hit foul, 0-1. At his best, Satin is not only very efficient, but has electric stuff. He has made that jump from a spot starter out of the bullpen to a dominant ace of the Tampa staff. Here's Cade Martin, 0-1. Tipped foul, 0-2. Satin's quickly gotten ahead of Martin in both of his times facing him. Cade Martin is the heart of the order in terms of the stat sheet. The only batter for either team batting over 400, and the only batter with over 15 home runs. Popped up to center. The wind helping carry that one just to the warning track. Heading to second is Moses. He's safe. That was a deep enough ball to gamble and a tag up, and it works out perfectly for the Trojans. Runner now halfway home for Boughton. One down. Have a couple of updates across regional play. Some of the early games have come to a close, notably in the Atlantic region. Seton Hill starts their tournament trip with a win against Charleston, 5-2. That one's to right, but right to Books. Tagging up is Moses. Here's the throw from Books. It'll just keep him at third. Back-to-back runner advancing flyouts. 2 down now to Drew Bradley. Satin won't mind 2 quick outs. Obviously, he likes strikeouts, but I know what's more important for him is helping Tampa win. Looking for number 11 on the season, ironically, the lowest win tally out of the Tampa rotation. Glanton, 11-2. Bailey, a flawless 12-0. Strike one. That 12-0 record for Bailey did come even with his tough end to the season, where he gave up 5 runs in an inning, getting chased out before the 4th. But Tampa came out on top to complete the sweep, so he stayed flawless. It was Glenn who was the best of the Tampa Big Three on that final series, earning Sunshine State Conference Pitcher of the Week honors. And I believe those honors actually extended out to the South region as a whole for this week. 1-2 to Bradley. Those low strikes have been vicious. Don't know if the strike zone's a bit larger today or if Satin's really locked in. Probably a mix of both. You see Trevecca Nazarene players not always happy with the calls, but like you said, can't argue with City Hall. Fouled, Bradley stays alive. He'd love to get Harrell some run support. He's the battery mate for him after all. 1-2. High and inside, almost hits him 2-2. That fastball had a little extra zip to it from Satin. He's been able to sit those low 90s. Might be dialing it up just a tad here. 2-2 on the way to the Trojan catcher. Popped up. Foul territory. Vanacek hovers under it. Inning over. Trojans got a runner in scoring position with their first hit of the game, their first base runner of the game, but they won't come home, and it's another clean inning for Satin. 2-0 lead for Tampa entering the bottom of the 4th. So here we go with a brand new inning. Jack Martinez starting for the Spartans. It'll be 8-9-1 due up with a 2-0 Tampa lead. Strike one inside. Now that was an interesting call. Martinez had a fielder's choice last time. Hit a sharp grounder to Rogers, who converted the out at third. Swing and a miss at that slider, 0-2. Harrell has struck out 2 today, given up 2 runs. Not the most efficient, thanks to a couple of lengthy at-bats, but he has avoided too much trouble early on against one of the best teams in the nation. Tampa as a whole, with a 308 average. Over their 49 games of the season, they've brought home 408 runs. They're averaging over 8 runs a game. And they have had some pretty big scoring days. Last weekend against Barrie, they put up 23 runs, notably 9 and 10 to close out the regular season on Friday, Senior Day. Fouled. Ooh, that one hits Urso, who kicks it back into play. 1-2. Fans giving Urso some applause there as we continue. Fouled again. Tampa also traveled to the Turley Athletic Complex in St. Pete 2 weekends ago to take on Eckerd. They won 18-5, 15-3, and then lost Game 3 2-1 against another one of the top SSC teams. So they entered this tournament with 5 of their last 6. Not a bad streak to carry. Before suffering 2 losses in a row in the tournament, there was a 3-game winning streak for the Trojans, winning against Lee to close out their regular season, and then starting championship play with wins against Montevallo and West Alabama. That West Alabama win, pretty notable, because they were the top-ranked seed in the conference tournament, as that one's fouled by Martinez. And of course, on top of that, West Alabama is also in this bracket. They are the 6th seeded team for national tournament play. Fouled, still 2-2. This time it's Martinez delivering a lengthy at bat against Harrell. Coach Sane mentioned that down the stretch of tournament play, it was bullpen depth that proved to be the Trojans' undoing. So he's hoping that some of the guys can step up outside of their main high leverage arms to help deliver them those crucial innings when a starter can't go the distance. Strike 3, but a productive at bat from Martinez, adding to the pitch count, 1 down. That was a 9-pitch at bat to Martinez, bringing Harrell to 64. Actually, a 10-pitch at bat. Fouled away from Fiker, strike 1. He singled back in the second. The last time that the Trojans made the tournament was in 2024. The final time they made it in the Midwest region. They played in the GMAC before transferring to the Gulf South Conference. They weren't able to escape the Midwest region. The previous time they had made it, though, once again under the leadership of Coach Sane, who has been the manager for 6 seasons now, was in 2021. They made it to the national championships, but went 0-2 and carried their season to come to a close. One of those losses came against the Spartans. Down to the dirt, 2-2. Tampa, meanwhile, they are your defending 2-time-in-a-row national champs, and they made it to regional play for over 20 years straight. They've been able to escape the region frequently. This one popped up and will be caught in foul territory unless it drops quickly. It drops quickly. Still 2-2. In 2023, they couldn't escape the South region. The Rollins Tars knocked out the Spartans. And in 2022, Tampa made the Super Regional with a great escape against Nova Southeastern before getting knocked out by the Rollins Tars. Rollins are in the regional this year against Tampa, so keep an eye out for that potential matchup. 2-2 on the way to Fiker. Hit to third. Picked up by Moore. And the throw gets away. Fiker to scoring position. He'll stay standing at second. One of the easiest errors you'll see called. And that will bring up Jordan Evans. Second error of the day out of the Trojans' infield. The first one was a very hot-to-handle ball, as that'll bring up Jordan Evans. By the way, departing for now is our UTampa men's lacrosse team. They are fresh off of a 13-9 win against the Lewis Flyers yesterday. Tampa men lacrosse are now in the national semifinals. That game will be at Sunday at 1 p.m. Could have a conflict with Game 7 of regional play. 0-1 to Evans. Evans into right center field. Is that going to get over the head? It is caught at the wall, dropped at the last second, so they can't turn two. What a play in right by Fernandez.
Jordan Evans has been seeing Logan Harrell very well today. He's had 3 hard-hit balls. Just baseball's a hard sport sometimes.
The wind making that a tough play for Fernandez out in right. He makes the catch, and Fiker was running. He thought that it was going to drop and he could score easily, but instead he has to scurry back to second. He is benefited by the fact that Fernandez dropped the ball on the transfer to the glove. 2 down now for Woodburn. Ball 1, missing low. And again, it does feel like Tampa is due for a long ball with how they've been hitting the rock. Another ball right to the warning track in that previous AB, and it's 1-1 to Woodburn.
As we said earlier in the broadcast, if they can just get that ball up in the air towards right field and just let it carry, one may be able to get over for them.
Moses playing pretty deep. Rest of the outfield a little shallower with 2 outs. They want to be able to get on top of a ball and see if they could get Fiker out at home if there's a clean line drive. 2-1 to Woodburn. Popped up. Fernandez settling under it. Inning over. So Tampa can't score Fiker from second off the air. They do get close with some nice hits. It'll stay 2-0 at the end of 4 innings played to start South Region play. So both the Sunshine State Conference and Gulf South Conference are in for an exciting weekend of regional baseball. Rollins and Tampa, West Alabama, and Trevecca Nazarene. So far, it's the Spartans on top of the Trojans, 2-0 in Game 1. Robert Satin, 4 strikeouts, 1 hit allowed. A dominant day for Tampa's ace. He'll look to keep it moving as he faces off against Cade Moore to start the inning. Here comes the first pitch from Satin. Popped up, 0-1. Down low, 1-1. It's a warm day, but the wind, which is pretty active today, definitely helps with the heat. Not as much with the humidity, even though you got a somewhat cool breeze coming through. 1-2. We are nice and air conditioned up here in the booth, but I know some of the fans braving the warmer weather down in the seats. Golfed to right. That's going to carry foul. Down low, 2-2. Hit up the middle. Weird hop off the mound. And Moore gets a single to start the inning. 1 on and no one out for Caleb Webster.
Sends at 58 pitches once this pitch gets thrown.
He's kept the count low, but always will be tricky as he begins a second and eventual third trip through the order. That'll be foul, strike 1. Oh and 1 for Webster. 1-1, missing inside. He went down looking back in the second. Had one of the longest at-bats of the day against Robert Satin. And he's going to bunt this one down. Perfectly played. Satin's throw, not in time. Excellent bunt for hit there from Webster. Just stayed fair on the first bounce. 2 on and no one out. Tying run now on first for the Trojans. Small ball is typically the name of the game in postseason play. Great showing of it here out of Trevecca Nazarene. Landon Rogers now with 2 on. He's going to show bunt. That's played to third, and they are going to just take the out at first. No reason to try to get fancy and get one of the lead runners out. 1 down now to Jackson Christ. That one's ripped and will get down and right. It will score 1. Books will have to make the throw to the plate. Not in time. We're all tied at the birdcage. Back-to-back bunts set the table for a bases-clearing single out of Jackson Christ. And now things are getting spicy. 2-2 in the top of the 5th. There's already an out for Satin. He could coax a double play, but the lead is no longer in hand. That'll bring up Alex Fernandez. Swing and a miss, strike 1. A lot of the eyes will now be on Logan Harrell. 76 pitches for him when he comes to the bottom of the 5th. And he'll be continuing a third trip through the order. Bunted foul. It'll be 0-2. Unless that first pitch call was taken back, it looked like it was an 0-1 count. Might be 1-1 actually. That's going to be bunted foul, 1-2. And he is out. It was an 0-2 count. I was correct. Our scorekeeping units were wrong. So that bunt is going to lead out number 2. That'll bring up Rylan Moses. Quick check on the runner. Trevecca and Nazarene have been somewhat quiet on the base path, only 51 steals on the season. Jackson Christ does have one of them. 1-1 now, 1-0 now. Would not be surprised if they send the runner, seeing if they can get the go-ahead run in scoring position. They'd love for a hit to give them the lead. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Down low, 2-1. Moses had the first hit of the day against Satin back in the 4th. Two and two. Close call there. Some of the visiting Trojan fans, I don't think, are the world's happiest about it. One more time, 2-2. Got him!
Nice.
Strike 3 high and on the outside corner. Satin picks up K number 5 to close the 5th. But 3 hits, plate 2 runs, and tie the game for Trevecca Nazarene. They do leave one on the base path. On to the bottom of the 5th, all square at the birdcage. So here we go with the bottom of the 5th. The lead has been lost for the Spartans, but there is still time to try to get it back. The Trojans rallying to make this one a little spicier. Heart of the order for Tampa due up, Irigoyen, Books, and Carlson. Irigoyen's been the top Spartan bat, leads in home runs and average. And he'll get on base for the leadoff single. First pitch, hit into left.
He felt due after hitting both of the other pitches very hard on his 2 outs. That was a good hit just to take it up the middle and find the gap.
And that'll bring up Jake Books as Tampa looks to strike while the iron is hot. We'll see how deep Satin can go. He's on 70 pitches through 5 innings. Tampa does have the fully rested bullpen ready to go. Same for Trevecca and Nazarene, as they will get some players tossing, 0-1. You could see Dawson Sweeney, Ryan Sweeney out of the bullpen. Kane Jinks as well. If you're the Trojans, you want to pull out all the stops here to make it to the regional semifinal. The winner of this game will play at 5 p.m. tomorrow against the winner of West Alabama and Rollins in the winner's bracket. The loser plays the early Friday game in the loser's bracket. Win or go home.
Nice.
That'll get down into right. They'll send Irigoyen to third. The relay won't be in time. Runners at the corners for Tampa. 2-hit day now for Jake Books to bring up Gunnett Carlson, who has struck out twice. Great chance for Carlson to heat up, though. You definitely feel that Carlson's due.
He might lay down a bunt here. It's a good squeeze opportunity.
Carlson transferred from the Rice Owls in D1 to Tampa for his senior year. He played at Florida State as a freshman. Then he went to the JUCO school, College of Central Florida. Afterwards, made his way to Rice. Back in high school, Carlson also played football. Earlier this season, Coach Joe Urso hit a 1,100 win milestone and also secured Tampa's 25th conference championship in program history. He has been on the winning end of a majority of the Tampa Conference titles, rather as a player and as a coach. There's a reason that number 7 is retired and eternally out in right field. Quick check on the runner. Books is not the biggest base stealing threat, but you could see a potential double steal idea here. On the season, Books has been successful 5 out of 5 times. Tampa have stolen 62 as a team. 1-0. There is bullpen activity for the Spartans, or for the Trojans. 1-1, fouled away by Carlson. So far in their third trip through the order, Tampa batting .500, 2 for 4. In the first trip through the order, Tampa had 2 hits. Second trip, Tampa had 3 hits. They've had 7 in total in the game. Another check on Books. No disengage limit here in D2. Harrell can step off as much as he'd like. Even though Harrell is your ace, you do think that he has a low leash here in a high leverage spot. Swing and a miss, 1-2. .33 RBIs in the season for Carlson. He's the team leader in walks and also now in strikeouts. Tipped. That's going to be on the ground. It'll be a productive out for Carlson, avoiding the strikeout and putting Books in scoring position. Not necessarily the outcome you want here, but it is better than a strikeout, and it eliminates the double play ball. That'll bring up Vanacek with Ponce on deck. Irigoyen held up at third naturally on that play. So essentially a sacrifice out there out of Carlson. One down here in the bottom of the fifth. 2-2 game. Go ahead run at third for the Spartans. That'll give Tampa the lead and maybe a little more. See ya! 3-run shot for Walker Vanacek. The birdcage is bumping with a 3-run shot from Vanacek, putting Tampa back in front. The first postseason long ball in 2026. First pitch swinging. That's exactly what you want to see, Xander.
Yeah, Carlson has had a day today with that home run. He has a walk in the second and a single in the third, so he's been on it all day today.
That'll bring up Jesse Ponce now. 0 for 1 after his sac bunt and ground out. Strike one tipped foul on the check swing. Ponce might be like, oh man, I was hoping to have some runners on base. But on the other hand, you also have a 3-run lead, so can't imagine Ponce is too disappointed. Fouled away 0-2. One thing this will guarantee for Howell is that his outing will continue. Even though it's a 3-run game, you might want to be a little more hesitant with your bullpen guys until either A, the score is a bit closer, or B, keep them fully healthy for what will be a very important game tomorrow. And obviously it is going to be for both teams. Whether it's a win and advance to the finals or a win and stay in the tournament match for either team, if you do pick up a bit of a losing margin, it could be more economical to use a starter deeper, keep those bullpen guys healthy. It'll be big to see what happens in the top of the sixth, as that one's close but a little bit low. Tried to go backdoor with the slider, and now it's 1-2 from Harrell to Ponce.
It's a good idea, but he's at 89 pitches now. So I don't know how much deeper he can go just on pitch count-wise.
So still 1-2 to Ponce. Tampa have been able to jump the pitch count pretty high for Harrell. He finished his day against Montevallo in the conference tournament at 88 pitches through a complete game effort. Would have been a Maddox if not for the 3 runs. Dropped ball 2. Got him that time, strike 3. There were some close takes early in the at-bat. Harrell wins this fight. 2 down for Jack Martinez. So Martinez, who had a fielder's choice earlier, looking to improve on an 0 for 2 day. The infield has seen some shuffling across the board on offense and defense. Throw pulls the first baseman off the bag. Another error out of the Trojans' defense. This one likely a little less costly with 2 down. Some of the players that have played third alongside Martinez, Luke Fiker. He did a good job at the hot corner, also a great job on the mound. You think that Fiker and Moran will be 2 guys Tampa looks for, as there goes Martinez. He is safe. First pitch stealing, and the count will go 0-1. For the year, that is Martinez's seventh stolen base attempt, fourth steal. Low and in, 1-1. Swing and a miss, low and outside, 1-2.
It's a good pitch.
About to complete the third trip through the order for Harrell. Evans on deck for his fourth at bat. Will he get a chance here, or will he wait for inning number 6? Bottom of the fifth, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Got him, chasing strike 3. It was a drop third strike, and that'll end the inning. 3 hits, bring home 3 runs as Tampa regains the lead to enter the top of the 6th. Walker Vanacek, the first of what could be many playoff heroes in 2026. This will be the biggest test for the Spartans. Top of the 6th, up by 3. Walker Vanacek with a huge 3-run shot for Tampa to put them in front. Tampa have a tougher opponent for their first round of tournament play compared to previous seasons as regional host. That comes from being the 2 seed. And when I was able to catch up with Coach Urso before the game, he said plainly that staying in the winner's bracket this year will be more important. Tampa was usually able to go against the 4 and 5 seeds in that second round matchup. And even though those teams are still typically good, Tampa usually is a bit better. But here in this region, there are teams close to the Spartans' level as the count goes 0-1 to Cade Martin. Most notably, Rollins, the 3 seed, and the number 2 team in the SSC. 1-1. Martin 0 for 2 today. It's the first time he's not going down 0-2 in a count. And tried to frame the strike there, but that one won't go. 2-1 now from Satin. That is his 73rd pitch of the game. 2 balls, 1 strike. Three and one now, missing a bit low. This is where you might see someone stretching for Tampa in the bullpen, but unless things get hairy, you're going to let Satin at least go 6. And a 3-1 is going to be popped up. Fiker tracking back. Catch made. Notably, Fiker would be one of the people you look at out of the bullpen. He has been Tampa's leading closer this season with 6 saves. We've also seen Sammy Beer, Tobin Moran, Oscar Hernandez, and Josiah Velasquez pick up saves, as well as Corey Lyle. Beer's been absent for a while, though he is most likely prepping for a tournament return. Lefty-lefty matchup for Noah Boughton. Strike 1. 0-2. Outside, trying to get the corner. There have been some good frames from Irigoyen today, but it'll go 1-2. Hit to short, or at least the man playing short, Martinez. 2 down. They once again employed that pretty aggressive shift, and it's the second time it's actually worked against Houghton. 2 down for Drew Bradley. So the battery mate for Harrell ready to go. Strike 1. High, 1-1.
Satin is still 16 pitches behind his countermate for the Trojans.
Spells a good sign for Satin to try to get a high-quality start, or go even deeper. 2-1. The depth of teams' bullpens is going to be put to the test throughout the weekend. Tampa, pretty deep across the board for a lot of their high bullpen arms. They've got 8 players with sub-4 ERAs out of their pitching staff. This one's popped straight up. Fighting the sun, Irigoyen, but that one's going to go off the net and actually over into the stands. 2-2. And out of the Tampa bullpen, you still have some pretty good guys with high ERAs as well. Alex Slash and Josiah Velasquez. Velasquez, very solid lefty arm. He's just been more inconsistent for you, Tampa, with a couple of shaky outings. You have Kenny Robinson, too. His command has been what you could call wild this season, but he's one of the best strikeout arms in the Tampa staff. Bradley to left. That is going to fall for an extra base hit and bounce away from Woodburn. It fell quicker than Woodburn expected. It's a 2-out double. The wind prevented that from being a shorter home run, but ironically, if it was headed deeper to Woodburn, it would have been an easy catch. So maybe a good thing for Bradley that it falls. That is hit number 5 out of the Trojans' offense. Here comes Cade Moore. And this is where Coach Urso maybe starts to look at Moran or Beer or Fiker and thinks about how deep can Satin go. Low and in, ball 1 to Moore. He singled last time. These 2 batters coming up for the Trojans both had Satin's number in their previous at-bat. They're 1 for 2 on the day. Notably, Webster had a brilliant bunt. And this one's not a bunt. Rolled right to Ponce, and it's 6 strong from Robert Satin. A 2-out, 2-strike hit leaves another runner stranded for the Trojans. And Satin holds on to the lead, entering the bottom of the 6th here in Game 1 of South Region play. So we got our first call to the bullpen of regional play. Harrell done after 5 innings. They'll bring on Justin Lee in his stead. Lee's had a majority of spot starts and longer bullpen outings this season, 47 innings in 23 games. 4.60 ERA with a 3-6 record, 44 strikeouts to 16 walks. Final line score for Harrell is 5 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks. A good day for Harrell. Vanacek, however, had his number in his third try, bringing home a 3-run shot. It's the moment of the game so far that gives Tampa their 3-run lead. Top of the order, 2 up will be Evans, Woodburn, and Irigoyen facing the new bullpen arm. We see West Alabama has reached the campus and our baseball field here at UTampa. They'll be able to spectate the remainder of this game before getting set for their showdown against the Rollins Tars, who have played spoiler to the hometown favorites each of the last times they've come here to the Tampa region. Low, but on the corner, strike 1. Edward Waters faces off against West Florida in South Region number 1's bracket. That game starting at 2 p.m. We'll give you periodic updates of how that region has gone. As the count goes, 1-2. The winner of that region takes on the winner of this region in the Super Regional, a 3-game set to determine who heads to Cary, North Carolina. Got him swinging. Strikeout number 1 for Lee out of the bullpen. 1 down for Braden Woodburn, who's had a good day at the plate. Started the day with a deep sack fly, followed it up with a double. Tampa have picked up 3 extra base hits today. Triple for Evans, double for Woodburn, home run from Vanacek. If you're the Trojans, you'd love Lee to go the distance out of the bullpen here. Keep the rest of your guys healthy. And if the game gets a closer score, you could look back at someone like a Dawson Sweeney or a Ryan Sweeney out of the bullpen as the count goes 2-0. Ryan Sweeney, the team's save leader with 8 on the season. He has struck out 57 over 42 innings. Three and 0 to Woodburn. On deck is Irigoyen. Walking Woodburn, always a bit of a scary task. With Irigoyen on deck, even more so. Woodburn almost getting on at a 500 clip this season, 34 walks and 15 hit by pitches. 3-1. Tampa has brought their total to 294 walks on the season. Could be another one of their 300-walk campaigns by the time all is said and done. Most likely will. Woodburn foul. The count goes full. Payoff pitch coming up. Check swing is going to get poked into right field. Worked out well on what could have been a disastrous little outing. Trying not to go around. Woodburn's on base with 1 away. Good idea to check on the runner. Woodburn has 18 steals on the season. 18 for 23. Jordan Evans leads Tampa 22 for 27. 1-0, missing high. Might anticipate Lee being a little quicker out of the stretch here. safe.
Lee has thrown as much as 71 pitches in an outing before, so he can go the distance if he can keep his pitch count to a minimum.
2-0. Or another check to first. Runner goes. Throw. Not secured. They were almost had him out at second, but the ball got dropped on the slide. 19th steal of the year for Braden Woodburn. I like the little sportsmanship thumbs up between Woodburn and I believe that's Webster after the play. Both had a little bit of collision, but no harm, no foul. 2-0 to Irigoyen. Irigoyen into deep left center. It'll be caught at the warning track, crashing into the wall is Moses. 2 down. I gotta tell you, it has not been an easy day for Moses out in center field. He's had to do a lot of running to a lot of deep fly balls. Good job to get under that one. Two down now for Jake Books. 2 hits in a row, including an RBI back in the third. He had scored Braden Woodburn in a similar spot. Strike 1. Outside, 1-1. Outside, 2-1. That one hits the zone on a check swing. 2-2. Books didn't go around. It was just a well-placed fastball. Two outs and a runner in scoring position for Justin Lee. Books hit to first. Ball bounces away from Christ. He'll hold on to it. And that is a 2-out base knock for the Spartans. I'll see if that gets scored as an error or a single. Could go either way there. And they are going to say it is dropped by Christ for an error. 2 outs, 2 on for Gunnett Carlson, who has been ice cold at the plate today. Did have a productive out back in the 5th, advancing the runner. Fouled. Strike 1. 4 errors now in the game for the Trojans. That one's a little bit more of a 50-50 error call, though, given that the ball was blocked from getting past Christ, which prevented a run from scoring, but he just couldn't hold on to it to turn out number 3. In any sense of the word, it's not an out that's not an error that Sane will be too upset about, because again, it prevents Tampa from going up by 4. Good job advancing to second for Jake Books. And that's going to go 2-1. So we mentioned Books could be a potential base stealing threat. Gets his 6th of the year. Hit to second. Picked up awkwardly. He's got just enough time for the toss. Webster ends the inning and lets Lee escape the jam. Tampa has been hit and miss with runners in scoring position. They'll strand 2 this time around as Satin comes back for the 7th. 5-2. 5-2, U Tampa in front in the South region. Taylor Storney and Xander Lopez bringing the action today from the SSE Digital Network from the University of Tampa campus. Graduation was last weekend, so the campus is uncannily quiet, but still a great spot for fans to come to town. Tampa participating in a lot of sports in the postseason. Tampa men's lacrosse in the national semifinal. Tampa women's lacrosse just eliminated by our dreaded rivals in Florida Southern. Tampa women's softball on the road against St. Leo in their South Region matchup. And Tampa golf is also in the national championships too. But for now, we continue regional play, and Robert Satin, first pitch grounded, picked up at third. What a diving grab by Martinez. One down. Would have been a tough play for Ponce if it rolled to him, but Martinez with a diving stop. That'll bring up Landon Rogers.
Martinez has made some incredible plays this year. Even going back to last weekend, where he made an incredible stop that hit the bag and bounced up, and he still got it in time. Just barely missed the throw over to first, and he was safe. But he flashes the leather almost every game.
On the outside corner, strike one to Rogers. Struck out looking back in the third before advancing both base runners in the fifth to set up a Christ RBI. That's all the Trojans have mustered today. They'll get back on the base path, though, with a hit from Rogers. Sixth of the game out of the Trojans. Keep an eye on Satin. His pitch count now at 90. About to complete his third trip through the order. It's going to be a very busy series for the Spartans. Having Satin complete 7+ could be incredible in terms of keeping that bullpen healthy for tough matchups down the road.
Got to keep an eye on Landon Rogers on first base. He has a team-leading 10 steals for them.
This would be the spot you'd want to send him. Uruguayan will have to be ready. 0-2 as Rogers stays put. That low fastball just hits the corner. And Christ appealing his case with the umpire saying, hey, was that inside? The umpire says yes. Christ ready to go again. Bases clearing, 2 RBI single for him last time. 1-2. No extra base hits outside of the double from Bradley for the Trojans. And even that one just fell pretty shallow in front of Woodburn to allow him to advance.
Big lead from Rogers here.
I think he might be jumping this time. No, he'll stay put. Ball low. 2-2. The only extra base hit of the game for the Trojans came on a 2-2 count. We'll go again. Satin, the 2-2. Runner on first, one away. Fouled again. A little bit of a lean forward, but Rogers does not get the green light to run. Two on the way. High, ball 3. Payoff pitch. With one out, it is a good idea now to send the runner. Could we see a strikeout, throw him out, double play? Rogers stays put as that's fouled back. Still 3-2. high, ball 4. First walk of the day out of Robert Satin. Tying run to the plate in the bat of Alex Fernandez. You did not see many walks out of Bobby Satin. A well-worked one from Jackson Christ.
This is going to be Satin's 99th pitch coming up.
Swing and a miss on it for strike 1. Satin can go deep, but you definitely think that the high-quality start is as far as he'll go should he get out of the jam. He's through 6 1/3 now at 100. He has struck out 5. He's walked 1, very similar to Harrell. Squares up, but takes strike 2. I'm not a big fan of one-out bunts, even with a weaker batter at the plate. Hernandez not super bad at the plate, hitting .255.
We did see a 2-strike bunt out of the Trojans, so we'll see if they try to do it again.
Probably not. It didn't work out last time. Hernandez fouls that one off. I also do wonder, because the scoreboard had the incorrect count, if Fernandez wasn't aware that it was 2 strikes.
It's also a possibility.
I was the only one directly keeping track.
You did.
Even our stat broadcast page had it wrong. 0-2 on the way to Fernandez. Fouled back. He's doing a great job protecting. Satin's gotten whiffs, but he has struggled to get those swings and misses late into counts. There's a reason that all 5 of his strikeouts have been strikeout lookings. Backwards Ks. 0-2 on the way again. Just high. One, 2 from Satin. 2-2 now. Fastball missing outside. That one golfed into left. Woodburn tracking. He will miss the diving catch as it rolls off the wall. It'll bring home 1 and put runners at 3rd and 2nd. 5-3 in the top of the 7th. He had to try the diving play, and it did not work out. 14th RBI of the season for Fernandez. Tying run now in scoring position. Go-ahead run at the plate with Moses. Lefty-lefty matchup as Militello comes out to talk with Satin. Most important out of the season for Satin here. Going for his 4th trip through the order. There's Satin with a quick warm-up. Fiker with a quick warm-up behind them. And with a quiet Tampa bullpen at the moment, you assume that it would be a change from second to the mound if Satin can't escape, with Fiker coming in. You see in the background briefly, warm-up pitches from that sidearm slot for Fiker. They won't make the change yet, but it's probably the worst kept secret in baseball today that he would be the guy to replace Satin out of the bullpen. I like Martinez being his quasi-bullpen catcher, if you will. Infield will be playing pretty shallow as we now have 2 on, 1 away. Mound visit complete.
Rylan Moses has gotten the better of Satin back in the 4th from a single. He's trying to do that again. Satin's trying to shut him down.
Strike 1 outside. Moses was one to watch from Coach Sane. The very productive freshman heating up here in conference and national tournament play. Up the middle. Bounces off of Satin. And Satin goes for the out at first. He had the runner in a pickle at third. But in a split-second decision, Satin takes out number 2 instead of the run. I think if Satin's at the post-game conference, that's surely got to be the first question you ask of him. In your head, the split-second decision, what is the reason that you went for the out at first instead of stopping the runner from scoring? That will see the change being made now. The reason being platooning. They definitely want the righty-on-righty matchup for Satin. If it was a lefty, I think they would let Satin get out of the jam, but they like Fiker against Martin here. You can't be too disappointed with that final out for Satin because, again, even though fans are going to be like, hey, why didn't you stop the run from scoring? If he makes a bad throw to the catcher, that run scores and there's still one out. So now it gives Satin a very nice job here in the 7th, inheriting 1, but only 1 out needed. We'll be back with the bullpen change coming. An effective day for Satin, but the Trojans do strike late here in the 7th. So here we go. Tampa forfeits the DH. The two-way man, Luke Fiker, gets the call in the highest leverage at bat of the day. Final line score for Satin, 6 2/3, 7 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, 4 runs, all of them earned, and he is responsible for that 5th at third base. Cade Martin has 1 on and 2 away. That's the game-tying run as he goes up against Tampa's sidearm specialist. Fiker, 15 games, 6 saves, and a 1.69 ERA out of the bullpen. He has struck out 26 in 26 innings, walking 11 in that span. He's only given up 3 extra base hits this year out of the bullpen. He is the go-to arm in a pinch. Meanwhile, JV defensive specialist Jack Iovino is in the game in left field as Woodburn moves to second base, as Fiker moves to the mound. And notably, the DH is going to be lost for the Spartans as the count goes 1-0 from Fiker. However, for now, with Fiker on the mound, you don't have to worry too much about having a pitcher batting, as the count goes 1-1 to Martin. We did see an SSE conference game where we actually saw Moran having an unironic at-bat at the plate. By ironic, I mean he did have 1 or 2 appearances in a lopsided scoreline for a pitcher AB. But Moran also had a chance in a legitimate close game position when Tampa forfeited the DH. 2-1 now to Martin. Martin into right. Books makes the running catch. A big escape for Luke Fiker. 2 hits, 2 runners score, 1 runner stranded. Tampa's lead is cut, but they still hold a 1-run advantage, entering the bottom of the 7th. So we begin the lucky 7 for the bottom half of the inning for the Spartans. 7th inning stretch complete. Justin Lee continues on the bump for the Trojans. Tampa have left 9 on the base path. The Trojans have left 4. 5-4 with Vanacek, Ponce, and Martinez due up. And afterwards, it'll be the pitcher at the plate. Luke Fiker, also potentially due up this frame. Last time up, Vanacek gave Tampa a 3-run lead. That cushion is important. The 7th inning saw Satin surrender 2 runs, getting chased out late. As that one almost hits him, ball 1. Still, a very good day for Satin on the mound. He went as deep as he could on 106 pitches. There is a chance that both Satin or even B.J. Bailey's numbers could get called again later this weekend, depending on how the regional play goes for the Spartans. All hands are on deck in these playoff games, especially if you go down to the must-win Game 7 at the end of regional play. Fouled. 2-1 now to Vanacek. 22 pitches for Lee in his first inning on the bump. We also see some active throwing out of Ryan Sweeney. High leverage spot, they would certainly bring in their closer to try to keep things at this scoreline. In range, in reach. Vanacek into right. That's going to get down for extra bases. All the way to the wall. It's not fielded cleanly, and they're going to keep Vanacek at second as the relay does come in. Vanacek needs a triple, and he would have hit for the cycle. There is no guarantee that he gets another at bat, however. Here comes Jesse Ponce. Tough call here if you're Coach Urso, one that you're going to need to take a look at based on your 20-plus years of experience. Do you bunt Ponce? Do you have him swing away? If you get a successful bunt, a sac fly gives you a 2-run lead. A hit would likely do the same, but again, it's a tricky spot if you do give them an out, and then Martinez can't capitalize. So squaring up is Ponce. That one's bunted foul, 0-1.
He had a nice bunt in the second, so I think the bunt was a good play, but maybe you let him swing away now.
They did that earlier, a swinging play to then kind of get the defense to come in. I believe that was with Books back in the 5th. Ponce will advance the runner on a ground out to second. So, hey, you get your sacrifice. The Trojans get their first out. And here comes Jack Martinez. Martinez has reached on multiple non-hits, fielder's choice in the second, an error in the 5th. If he puts the ball in play, we could see Tampa back up by 2. It will be a tricky play for the Trojan infield, who is coming in shallow for that exact reason. Small lead for Vanacek at third. He was out on that fielder's choice. Squaring up, and they sent him early. Vanacek caught in the pickle. 2 down. Strike 1 to Martinez. And Vanacek just mistimed the jump. Coach Urso said that this team was inconsistent with execution. Well, it doesn't get any clearer of an execution failure like that. Foul back 0-2 to Martinez. One more strike, and it'll be a very anticlimactic finale to the inning for Lee. Tampa holds on to the 1-run lead. I tell you, if you're Coach Urso, he's not going to be happy about that. Ball 1. Ball 2. So great heads-up play there by Bradley to get it to Moore. to catch Vanacek out after he just went way too far forward. Martinez up the middle, and that is going to drop. Fiker to the plate. Had a single in the second, got on base via error in the fourth. Now your hand is a little bit forced if you're Tampa. You're going to want to send Martinez to give you a runner in scoring position.
He had one already today in the fifth as he goes.
Fiker squares up, and Martinez doesn't beat the tag. He thought he swam around it, but a clean throw from Bradley to Webster ends the inning. You definitely do have to go for the steal in that situation. It'll be Fiker, Evans, and Woodburn when we come back in the eighth. But for now, it'll be Fiker back on the bump after just having his first try against Lee come to a close. We'll be back with more action. 5-4 Spartans lead. Top of the eighth. 6 more chances for the Trojans to avoid a trip to the loser's bracket. They have gone now to jams left and right on defense. Unable to get that tying run home on offense, though, in the 7th. Luke Fiker cleaning up the mess. He'll take on Boughton, Bradley, and Moore. Lefties against Fiker are going to be very strong with the sidearm motion. Fiker has been very efficient down the stretch. He'll miss ball 1. Golfed into center. Evans is there, 1 down. Boughton falls to 0 for 4. That'll bring up Drew Bradley. Doubled last time. Got into scoring position in the 6th. And he'll take on Fiker here, righty-righty matchup with 1 down. Just a reminder, 5 p.m. we've got West Alabama and Rollins playing in Game 2 of South Region action. Winner of that game presumably goes on to take on the Spartans, but that does depend on what the Trojans do on offense. 1-1. It's an active weekend regional here at the University of Tampa, as the count's going to go 2-1. Bradley ahead of Fiker. 3-1. On deck is Moore. Fiker, being a sidearmer, also gets a good amount of ground balls. And that's ball 4, just missing inside. A 1-out walk for Fiker. It might have grazed him. Either way, it's the same outcome with 3 balls in the count. It's scored as a walk, so that's how it'll go for now. But we continue with Fiker on the mound and Moore at the plate. Looks like they're going pinch runner here. And indeed, it might have hit him as they actually check him out. Nope, he's good to continue. That is the first walker hit by a pitch in the last few outings out of Fiker. Although they're not actively tracking the walks as much on the game logs. He's had 5 scoreless outings in a row, counting an appearance against Nova Southeastern. Fouled, strike 1. He had 1 inning against Rollins, 3 innings against Florida Tech, 1 1/3 against the Tritons, and 1 against Barry. One and 1 missing to Moore. Fiker started his season out of the bullpen against Post in a 19-8 victory, and then helped secure a win against St. Leo. Avino makes the catch and left, 2 down. That'll bring up Caleb Webster, the righty with 2 away. Singled back in the 5th, chained the hits with Moore, although Webster's was a bunt. That'll be ball 1. Just outside from Fiker, 2-0. That one hits the high part of the zone, 2-1. Just broke late enough to get the corner. Two one. Did that hit him? He did not go around. They are going to call that a hit by a pitch. They say it did not hit the bat. 2 on, 2 away for Landon Rogers. Second HPP in the inning for Fiker. That was very close. As Sam Militello will check on Fiker. Change getting prepped, it looks like. Saint out there with the home plate umpire. It will not be for Rogers. It might be a pinch runner. And I think it is. Yes, moving into scoring position for Trevecca Nazarene. It will be, I think, the 23 of Luke Diamond. Trying to see the number. Yes. 2-3 in scoring position. It's Wyatt Bowling. Bowling's also listed as a catcher, so he'll stay in the game of defense. Four for 4 on steals this year, but you probably don't steal with 2 outs here. Outside, ball 1 to Rogers. Singled last time, sack bunt in the 5th. 2 productive plays in a row. 5-4 Spartans in the top of the 8th. 2 down in the inning. 1-1. Bottom 3 in the order facing Fiker as he continues his first trip out of the bullpen. That one's grounded to first. It'll be a foot race. Toss to Fiker. He's there in time. Fiker gets out of the jam. Inning over. So, changes being made. Diamond's behind home plate as a catcher now after the pinch runner came in. And for the final frame, it will be Ryan Sweeney on the mound trying to keep Tampa from scoring. Sweeney has been the closer for the Trojans. A 2-4 record, a 3.40 ERA, 57 strikeouts in 42 innings. He'll take on Fiker, Evans, and Woodburn, the bottom to the top of the Tampa order. Fiker looking for the save, also looking to help his case at the plate. The baseball tournament underway around the nation here in D2. The South region off to a hot start here. West Florida currently up 8-0 against Edward Waters as that one's fouled for strike one. Delta State and Lee, the other two teams in that half of the bracket. So essentially running back the Gulf South Conference. High, 1-1.
Fiker is 1 for 3 on the day with 1 strikeout.
Fiker hit past first baseman Christ, who just stumbles a little trying to dive for that ball. And that's going to get through for a base hit. Here comes Jordan Evans. Evans showing bunt. See if Tampa does take the bat out of his hands to swing away. By the way, the Rollins Tars have also reached the U-Tampa campus. There goes Fiker. A hit and run as that strike run.
Looked like Fiker got a good jump there. It would have been a bang-bang play at second.
Then the scoring position would be useful. Fiker with a bit of a lead again. Do have to be careful of a pickoff, though. And Sweeney's going to turn. Sweeney very effective for the Trojans on the mound. There's a reason he got called in for this situation. The junior out of Franklin, Tennessee. Bryson Sweeney is his brother. There goes the runner. Swinging and fouling is Evans, 0-2. And you're right, some of those swings might not be the world's greatest outcome. Thinking about how there have been good jumps from Fiker. By the way, Dawson Sweeney is not the brother of Ryan Sweeney, at least from the team bio page. They do come from different places in Tennessee. Sweeney from Franklin, Dawson from Nolensville. Fiker stays put as Evans flares that to center. This could drop as a blooper, and it will. Fiker in scoring position. Back-to-back hits for the Spartans. Braden Woodburn now, 2 on and no one out. Currently a 1-run Spartan lead. A big chance to just push that lead a little further. Give Fiker, who's on second, a little more breathing room. Squares up, ball 1. 2-hit day for Woodburn with a sac fly. But with Irigoyen on deck, it's not a bad idea to bunt him over. And you're in a weird situation, one where you might even consider walking the bases loaded to try to get force outs. You probably wouldn't, though. You don't want to face Book's bases loaded. Woodburn gets it down. A successful sacrifice. 1 out. The atmosphere growing a bit more excited for the Spartans faithful. West Alabama and Rollins watching intently. They know it'll be them next on this very field. You see West Alabama on the right side of the screen. Rollins on the left. Their team's in attendance with 2 on, 1 away for Joander Jojo Irigoyen. Infield playing shallow. They're not going to run a squeeze with Irigoyen, but they're ready in case he hits it sharply. Ball 1. And with 1-0, they're going to walk him loaded. They do not want Irigoyen to bat ahead of the count. It is a risk. It is the equivalent of going all in at the casino table. They now have to face Books with the bases full. Pitching coach headed out there to talk with Sweeney. This is what you want your closer out here for. If there is no one else you trust in a spot like this, bases full and 1 out, it is your closer. It is your 9th inning guy. And for the Trojans, it is Ryan Sweeney, the junior, out of Franklin, Tennessee, and Centennial High School.
Books is 2 for 4 today with 2 singles, and he has scored a run. He also got on base back in the 6th on an error by the first baseman, which could have gone either way.
4 errors out of the Trevecca Nazarene defense. Some of them were close calls on errors, but some of them just plain missed throws or dropped balls. Bases are now full for Jake Books. "13 hits for the Spartans today. They have stranded 9 runners in scoring position. The corners playing a little shallow. The middle infield playing at double play depth. Ball 1 high to Books. Big thing now is you've got nowhere to put him. That one misses low, 2-0. If the stream's having some difficulties, we apologize. We'll keep giving you live radio play-by-play if that's the case. 2-0 now to Books. 2-1. Slider hitting high. Tom, check cameras. Someone get Tom. 2-1. Books up the middle. It's kicked by Sweeney. It'll score a run as he gets out, number 2. Don't know if that would have slipped through the middle of the infield. Sweeney stopped it with his foot and gets the second out, but Tampa now leads Still 2 on. It'll be Nick Pereira off the bench for Iovino. So as we still continue, we do apologize for the laggy stream at the moment. Connection difficulties here with a fully packed Tampa baseball stadium. Tampa scoring on a sacrifice hit from Books. One that got kicked by Sweeney and recovered for out number 2, but scoring the runner from third, Luke Fiker. Nick Pereira off the bench. Strike 1. Pereira had a hamate fracture to start the season. Got going later in the year. The junior staying strong in the first guy off the bench for the Spartans in this high leverage spot, replacing Iovino. 1-1. There will be another player out there, I'd imagine, on defense for Pereira, unless they play him at second base in the 9th. (1-1) Sweeney to Pereira. 2-1. Unlike against Books, there is a spot to put Pereira. Walker Vanacek is on deck. Pereira into right center field. That is out of range of Moses. Tampa jumps to an 8-4 lead. The birdcage is getting loud again. A 2 RBI double out of Nick Pereira. A clutch pinch hit appearance for Pereira. Insurance in spades for Luke Fiker as Tampa with their most productive inning at the plate against Sweeney. Bullpen remains empty. 2 outs. They are going to let him finish. A.J. Graham in the game on defense, or as a pinch runner. Graham will most certainly stay in the game in left field on defense. So we continue with a runner in scoring position, that being A.J. Graham. Swing and a miss, strike 1 for Vanacek. Doubled and homered in his last 2 plate appearances.
It's just super laggy. Now it kind of like fixed itself a little bit, but it's still like laggy.
It is 8 for Spartans. We still got to fix our scoreboard. 8-4 Spartans. As that one's going to be high. 1-1. That's why it's lagging. I think that's about to die. I know. Swing and a miss. 1-2 to Vanacek. Yeah, it's because of the low power. One, 2 on the way. Outside, 2-2. Vanacek staying alive. It is 8-4 Spartans. And that one, did he go? He did not. Full count, 3-2. Ball 4, and that'll let Graham reach third. A wild pitch on the payoff pitch brings up Jesse Ponce with 2 down. 2 on. Runners at the corners with an 8-4 lead. Hitting the outer corner, strike 1 to Ponce. No hits today for the Tampa shortstop. Did have a successful bunt in the second. Getting to it by Diamond. 1-1. Eight for Spartans after their 14th hit from Nick Pereira. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Almost a half-hearted effort there from Ponce at that fastball outside. Here's Sweeney. Runner goes. Fouled. Good jump there from Vanacek. Another early jump for Vanacek. Ball 2 to Ponce. They are not going to contest Vanacek, so he gets the steal. That is just the second steal of the season for Vanacek. 2-2 to Ponce. 3-2, almost hit him. Count will go full. Back-to-back full counts from Sweeney. There is a place to put Ponce. Martinez on deck. Fiker after him. Fouled. That might have been ball 4, but a good idea to protect just in case. Three-two. Ball 4. Easier take for Ponce as that'll load the bases again. Third walk out of the pen for Webster, or Sweeney. The second organic walk, the other one an intentional bases loading walk. And even though the ensuing at bat for Books got the second out, it also brought home a run as there is some activity in the Tampa bullpen. If they really jump ahead here, they'll likely go to what looks to be Hernandez, the 19 out of the bullpen, or someone else. That one's popped up and foul, 0-1. If they don't jump ahead here, it's probably a better idea to let Fiker continue and then make the switch, depending on how tired he'll be, if he gets into a little bit of trouble. Fiker on deck. Could get a second at bat in the inning. Almost hits Martinez inside, 1-1. This has been a long bullpen inning for Sweeney. Over 30 pitches. Almost takes his head off, 3-0 now, or 2-1 now. You gotta let him continue with 2 down here. But clearly running low on steam. Tipped foul. A little early on the slider that time for Martinez. 2-2. Fiker on deck. Bases are loaded. If the inning continues, a run will have scored. 8-4 Spartans. Popped up, shielding the sun. The first baseman can't find it. It falls and will stay 2-2. Tough play for Christ by the bullpen. It is getting later in the day where the sun shines down a little brighter. And Sweeney can't get out of the jam just yet. Xander, that's got to sting if you're Sweeney.
It does. Just can't get out of this inning, it feels like, for him. Getting a little bit tired, and you got the pop-up, and just let down by your first baseman. But next pitch, goldfish mentality.
It's got him that time, indeed. Strikeout number 1 out of the pen for Sweeney. But Tampa brought everyone to the plate with 3 hits and 3 runs. They have given Fiker a lot of breathing room for the 9th as we continue, and that defensive change getting penciled in. Yeah. Top of the 9th, about to continue. We do apologize as we are still battling with either overheating or laggy cameras. Tampa has jumped to an 8-4 advantage at the birdcage. And Fiker needs 3 more outs to send Tampa to the regional semifinal and complete the save. Entered in a save situation. It no longer is one. 4-run Spartan lead with Christ, Fernandez, and Moses due up. So I might be incorrect. I don't think it's A.J. Graham in on defense. Instead, Tampa brings out Dennis McCaffrey. Fiker's first pitch, strike 1 to Christ. I said in the previous frame that walking the bases loaded for books was the equivalent of going all in at the casino, but it looks like it might have busted for the Trojans as the count goes 0-2. Tampa, plate 3 on notably the 2 RBI double out of Pereira, and despite loading the bases again, it's a great escape for Sweeney to just leave them loaded. Tampa have stranded 12 but have scored 8 as the count goes 1-2. Obviously, Tampa's offense still a little inconsistent, but they have struck in some of the most important spots. Strike 3 to Christ. It's Fiker's first strikeout out of the pen, 1 down. Fiker's given up 2 base runners, both of them hit by pitches. The first one hadn't initially been scored as a hit by pitch, but because they were checking on him at first, it looked like it did actually hit him. He exited the game for a pinch runner, a clutch pinch runner, not because he got injured, I believe. So you imagine that the catcher, Bradley, could be back for the next game. And again, it is going to be a next game. It is not win or go home yet. Should the Trojans lose, they will move on to the losers bracket game at Friday at 1 p.m. It'll start the second day of regional baseball. Outside from Fiker, 2-1. 8-4 Spartans in the top of the 9th. Deep left, but not deep enough. McCaffrey makes the catch, 2 down. Rylan Moses, final chance for the Trojans. 2 outs, base is empty. By the way, just announced a few moments ago on the SSE social media page, your 2026 Baseball Coach of the Year for the Sunshine State Conference. You guessed it, Joe Urso. There's strike one to Moses. The Player of the Year for the conference, Joandrew Irigoyen. Pitcher of the Year for the conference, B.J. Bailey. Freshman of the Year for the conference, Florida Tech's Marcelo Cortal. So congrats to Bailey, who will likely be the Friday starter for the Spartans. Congrats to Cortale, who is currently resting in the offseason with the Panthers. And congrats to Irigoyen, who is making the call for the 0-2 count. Got him. And for a third straight year, Tampa punches their ticket into the regional semifinal. The last 2 seasons, Tampa have had to claw their way out of the losers bracket, but they start their tournament hot with an 8-4 win against Trevecca Nazarene. It's the closest of these opening round matchups that they've had as of late. But crucially, Tampa ends in the win column, 8-4. Big win, Xander.
Very big win.
That'll bump Satin to an 11-2 record on the season. Harrell will fall to an 8-5 record. Satin 1-0 in tournament play. Harrell 0-1 in tournament play. Luke Fiker cleaning it up out of the bullpen with 2 1/3. Picks up his 7th save of the season. His first save of postseason play to help Tampa move on. Didn't give up a hit. Didn't give up a walk. Didn't give up a run. Struck out 2. He did have 2 hit by pitches. But a clean day to close it out of the pen. So a great day for the Spartans. The Trojans were solid at the plate. They did convert in 2 big innings in the 5th and 7th, but it wasn't enough. The bottom of the 8th saw Tampa convert against Sweeney, ultimately sending the Trojans down into the losers bracket. But teams have been able to fight their way out of this situation before. That's what the Trojans will be trying to do starting tomorrow. Tampa at the plate had some great days across the board. The big moment, though, came not just from Walker Vanacek, but also Nick Pereira. Pereira's 2 RBI double. Vanacek's 3-run shot. Those are the guys that you look at for the heroes for the Spartans in today's game as we come to a close. So, I'm Taylor Storley for Xander Lopez. This has been action from the SSE Digital Network NCAA Tournament Baseball. Please stay tuned for the post-game press conferences, which you can also find on the platforms, whether you're watching from the NCAA app or from the Sunshine State Digital Network. Trevecca Nazarene will be active tomorrow at 1 p.m. Tampa will be active tomorrow at 5 p.m. Stay with us in an hour and 20 minutes' time. The Tars of Rollins and West Alabama face off for the winner to take on the number 3 team in the nation. Final score, Spartans 8, Trojans 4.